just so you know, I might be all over the place. So if you lose me, let me know and I'll slow down.
Okay.
But yes, let me pull up the landing page. Did you start doing the ads or?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I haven't got it. So basically, I've got two children, and they've been on half term, which is a kind of equivalent of spring break, I guess.
Hmm.
So they just went back to school today. So life
Oh.
resumes.
So you're back.
Exactly. I've literally just been glued to my computer since like 8 o'clock this morning. So
Wow. That's awesome.
yeah.
Okay. So let me jump in here. Okay, so hopefully, let me see here. Okay, cool. Is it sharing my screen?
Not yet.
Okay. Did that do it?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, so actually before I start all this stuff, walk me through I mean, you kind of already just said it, but what's your goal? Like, who's the industry that you'd really like to go after? If there isn't one, are there like top two or three? Like, what do you prefer?
So I like the coaching industry. I like the personalities in it. I like quite big personalities in it. Um, I seem to be getting more interest from the female coaches. And I kind of almost don't want that. I want it to be, I like people who are in the business space rather than the woo woo space.
Okay.
And a lot of the female coaches seem to be very much um, a little bit lightweight. There's some real hard hitters out there, but there's an awful lot of pretenders. And just, I don't. I also feel like I'm quite a practical person. I'm quite straightforward with things. I'm quite direct, and I don't necessarily feel entirely comfortable with the sort of slightly more holistic ones that are more concerned about, you know, the crystal energies under your desk that are going to make you a multimillionaire. It just doesn't really work for me.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. Okay. So more business focused. They're more tangible, actionable, that kind of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Um, so before I go too far into this, then, when I looked at the page, that was the number one thing I was going to say is you got to kill everything except for the coaches. I mean,
Okay.
you know, so actually before I jump into all this, so I'm going to throw a lot of stuff as much as I can into this video because I like to, get it for content, but also, some of the stuff I say is just my personal preference. So I may say something you'd be like, oh, that's stupid. So just heads up. I'm going to say a lot of stuff that you're going to be like, that's not me. So
No, fair enough. I think, you know, garner lots of opinions, and um, out of that comes my own way of describing something.
yeah, there you go. Okay, so going with the assumption that you would niche it down to coaches, um, I've run campaigns both unniched and niche before. There's no question, no doubt that obviously niched is so much cheaper. You get so much more specific. Just even using words in the headline that calls out the type of person. All of my ads, I call somebody out. Obviously, you
Okay.
got to be careful with making promises or like medical issues like are you feeling back pain? You can't really say stuff like that. But for me, the first thing I say in my ad is hey, business coaches, or hey, whatever type of categories there are in your industry. And that's the most important thing to start out with is you know the picture is great. And I think it's important to have the photo. But a lot of people kind of skim the photo. They'll read the
Which
headline.
which are you talking about at the moment? The website or the ClickFunnels landing
Yeah.
page?
So I was going to Facebook actually. Let me give an example.
Okay.
So they did research on people's. Okay, we'll use this on people's behavior on Facebook, and what they found is yes, the image or the creative here will stop the eye. But the next thing they read is the headline, which is down here. And then the next thing is they'll move up here.
Okay, I all I can see is your Facebook page.
Oh, yeah. Is my cursor not showing anything?
No,
Well, that doesn't
it's
help.
stuck on the message.
Okay, 1 second. Maybe if I do... optimize full screen.
That's interesting. I thought on Zoom you could see
Yeah.
what I was doing.
Can you see it now?
Yes, now it's moving.
Oh, weird. Okay. Strange. Anyway, yeah. So on Facebook, they did a study, and I'm sure you can easily Google it, but obviously the image helps capture people's attention for a split second. Then the next thing they read is the headline.
Okay.
And then they read the text up here. So kind of interesting. I never would have thought of that, but that was just kind of the known thing. So just talking about the Facebook ad side of things, whenever you start writing it, the headline to me is extremely important to summarize exactly what's going to happen when they click that learn more or the shop now button.
Yeah.
So that's that's huge. But the second that they see that text up top, the first thing I want to say to make sure they stay, because by the time they get to that text up top, you're a couple seconds in, you're about to lose them. Which is why once they get up here, I like saying, hey, if you're a business coach, suddenly it's relevant to them. It's like news whenever you say, a gas station, this is horrible, but gas station held up on yesterday. It's more relevant. Are you in London? Is that where you are?
Just outside, yeah.
Okay, so it's more relevant. Some people will pay more attention if they say, man holds up a gas station in London store, something like that. So The more specific, the more locale, the more commonality, the better. So anyway, that's just, that's that. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. I'd never known that actually. Image, headline, then copy.
Yeah, it's strange. And you can see, I install heat maps for all my clients.
Okay.
Do you use heat maps?
Do you know what I did? I had Hotjar on my old website, but I haven't reinstalled it. So good nudge to get that fit back on.
Yeah. I have that whenever I have a new client, they always get a Hotjar. And after a while, I kind of get the same general idea of what the behavior needs to be, or where things need to be. But they did a heat map on Facebook, and that's basically what it did. Obviously, there's outliers and people do different stuff, but that's the general path. Okay, so that's that on the Facebook. I don't really have much else to say since we don't have anything to look at, so I'll just skip that for now.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. So if we're going down the path of going coaching, 100% this top line, it needs to have the word coaching, business coach in there.
Yeah.
Actually, before I go down this path, is it worth it for me to talk about you going niched, or should we just assume that you're going to be unniched?
So what I was actually thinking of doing was having 2 straight up funnels, one with the sort of e-com businesses and one with the coaches, which I know is kind of, hedging my bets a little bit.
Right.
But I think those are definitely, personally, I enjoy the coaches. But from a building an agency standpoint, e-com is a lot more valuable, and it's a lot more scalable, and it's a lot easier to bring people into. It's less project-based and more ongoing.
Right. I understand that. Yeah, I've been in lead gen for the majority of my business, and e-com is teasing me.
Yeah. And I don't want to get, up to my eyeballs in coaching and regret not having done anything in e-com. So, but I think that coaches need to feel special, and e-com businesses want to know that that's what you do all day. So I do need to split those out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. So I like how you did the how to get something without doing something else. It's always good. Um, so how to generate qualified leads every day for your business. Um, Instead of saying every day, it's kind of a psychology thing. Instead of saying every day sounds like a not as tangible. If you can word it in a way where it sounds like how to get something right now. Um,
Okay.
every day is almost like saying sometime in the future or some intangible um, future. So in other words, what I would say instead could be how to generate qualified leads or how to generate more qualified leads for your coaching business. Um, if you have a straight up funnel, do you have actual case studies?
Yeah. Yeah. Not
Oh,
massive ones, but yes.
oh, that's right. You know what?
I've got another two since I wrote this.
Okay. Do you have numbers for how many leads were created or how many sales
Um,
dollars? Oh, wait. Oh, here it is.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's huge. Forget this headline. Get rid of it. Kill it. If it's going to be straight up funnel, you need to talk about the result right away.
Okay.
My favorite, I'm going to mess with this for a second. You know how much time it was to get that 10,000 pounds?
Uh, I think it was like 2 months.
Okay.
But it's yeah, I mean that's kind of the initial. So yeah, each one of those clients, because that's just 2 months worth of fees. Each one of those clients is worth £2,400 a month. So they're worth like 28 grand a year.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this $10,000 is multiple clients and they're like recurring.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, whatever that number is, I would add that up and even create a bigger number. But
And
yeah, how
that's
would you,
not going to tripwire Facebook's whole monetary claim thing.
right. So did you see the post from Kat Howell about the income disclaimer?
I did, yeah. But I've
Okay.
also seen in a couple of other groups people just being like, it's just not working.
I've never been disapproved. I write stuff like this
Okay.
all the time. Um,
Okay.
and, and, you know, you can go back and do reviews and change it if you want. I mean, it's probably worth going through disapproval if you can get it approved because,
Yep.
I mean, this copy just kills it, you
Yes.
know?
I have a friendly face at UK Facebook that I have his email address and I'm good to him. So
Ooh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
so it's really handy. So I do get quite a lot of stuff pushed through, or else I get a kind of good reason as to why it needs to change rather than just your crappy disapprovals. So, all right, I will give it
That's
a
awesome.
shot.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely do that. Um, okay, so the generated 10,000 or 10,000, is that pounds? Is that the right currency?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Um, you can, how you can, so this is just general ideas. Whoops, supposed to be with your business.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I would just, yeah, headline, obviously the biggest thing. I would change something like that. Any headlines with numbers in it or percentages are much more believable and it's more tangible to people.
Okay.
So that's something I always prioritize is can I get numbers in here? Um, and of course, whenever you have numbers, you have to back it up with some credibility later on. So just
Yeah.
keep that in mind whenever you trigger that. Okay, so that's a headline. One thing I noticed, so just in general, whenever I first pull up a landing page to review, I just kind of do a quick scroll through to see if anything like pops out to me or if anything's like not pleasing to the eye or hard to read. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, one thing I noticed is I don't see a single photo. Is this a real photo?
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't tell. I didn't see a photo until I got to the very bottom.
Okay.
Having a face near the top definitely improves conversion. There's another tracking search, and you can Google this one too. It was another research where I don't know, it was like 60% more time was spent on a website with faces. Um, so obviously you want to get this, move this up, or something like this further up, just to have a face in there so people can, their attention can be grabbed and maintained. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Um, okay. So, are you frustrated trying to generate sales online? Um, how do I don't know anything about the coaching industry, but is it usually they have like a webinar and then they do like a sales call to sell them for coaching? How does that usually work?
Yeah, so there's usually Facebook ads running to webinar signups, and then they'll pitch at the end of the webinar, and people go into a nurture sequence, or it's in the case of these guys, they're offline coaches that I'd been working with, so they're looking to generate calls that they then try and convert people on the calls or on a kind of workshop day. So it's usually one of those three things. It's rarely people signing up online. They generally have some kind of human interaction with the coach,
Okay. Yeah. That
unless
makes sense.
you're in the realms of like the Amy Porterfields, etc. But I'm not quite there yet.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. So, okay. So, the first thing, reading these first two sentences or first three sentences, um, you're kind of jumping the gun. So by that, I mean, think about somebody who doesn't know who you are. They're
Uh-huh.
scrolling through Facebook. They see a funny or a pattern, interrupt or whatever type of ad. And you say, hey, we just killed it. We just generated 10,000 pounds within the first 60 days for our coaching client. It's recurring or whatever the number is. Um, you know, Click learn more to see how we did it and how you could potentially do the same as well.
Okay.
Right. So the first part of the journey is they clicked on the ad, right? So they're at that point where they're like, okay, this is interesting. I don't know if I believe it yet, but it's interesting enough for me to click in. So they get to the page, and obviously the headline is to let them know, hey, look, you're on the right page. The previous ad that you clicked, the claim that we made. Here's, this is just labeling, hey, you're on the right place, and it reaffirms the benefit of reading this page. Okay, so that's the headline. Um, and then you started into, are you frustrated trying to generate sales online? That's good because it's talking about a pain point.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the next line right after that is you're asking them to do a free strategy session to discuss the results you need. Now, the only reason I have a problem with that is they've come in from this ad cold. They don't know who you are. They said, okay, you know what? This sounds interesting. I don't know if I believe it yet because people can't believe it in 3 seconds. So it's not enough time. They read the headline. They're like, okay, I'm in the right place. That's what we talked about. And then, almost the next line, you're saying, hey, get a free strategy session, which means they're going to have to get on a call with you. They're going to, they're expecting a heavy sales pitch because you're trying to sell them. And they just haven't gone through enough information to know whether they can even trust you.
Okay. Sure.
So does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what I would do is I would push anything talking about a strategy session way down. And I will kind of filter some of it in, just kind of passively until I've built some credibility. See, right now you have no credibility at this line. At this point, you're at the point where they're like, okay, I get this problem. Yes, I'm dealing with this problem. Okay, you've got me for a split second. So
Okay.
you've got to kind of dig in. Have you gone through the sales calls with Andy or Stan?
Yeah, but generally the recordings, because the time zones mean they're on at like midnight and 2 a.m.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. They talk about, you ask the question and then you just dig in further.
Yeah.
Like their first answer is never really what they need. Like you say, what do you want? They say, I want more business. That's not really what they care about. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't worry about that. It's more about, I want to be able to support the kids better. I want to be able to have vacation time with family. It's whatever those deeper meanings are. So we just haven't teased them enough to engage and say, okay, yes, I get it. I'm feeling it right now. I'm feeling this pain and I'm feeling this promise. And that's kind of like the first step. Okay. So,
So So do you think in this section then I would be better off almost, coming good on the promise and talking about some of the, obviously a very light overview of the strategy we used and what we did and how the results came through at different stages? Or, yeah,
100%. Yep.
the proper kind of case study it rather than just the, like you said, take out that whole section above the book, the strategy call, and then
I
make
would.
that bit the kind of case study on how we got the results for that coach.
Absolutely. What I would do is I would add, I would get rid of this, and then add in one or two transition sentences.
Okay.
So the first thing you need to say, so are you frustrated trying to generate sales online? I'd love to see that sentence get more specific. Are you tired of not getting many visitors to your webinar or not many attendees to your webinar pitch or whatever you call it?
Yeah.
Are you sick of seeing another low month in engagement or whatever the coaching problems are? I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And then the next line should be, I like making things sound newsworthy because people pay attention to something like that. So what I would say is, kind of like either, look, you're not alone, coaches everywhere dealing with this problem, or have some stat that says, coaching sales are down or they're up. And the reason why they're up is because they're doing just a few handful of things that make all the difference in the world. Or for example, if they're down, they say the reason why they're down is because they're not doing, just a handful of things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of true as well.
Right. Yeah. So that'll be your transition sentence. And then, from there, the transition sentence just goes right into, here's how we did it for a recent client of ours, a recent coach of ours. And then boom, there's your case study overview.
Okay.
So to summarize, I'll summarize this again just for the recording. I might want to use this again. So the headline is great. So the only goal of the headline is to get people to read the subheadline. The goal of the subheadline is to get people to read the first sentence, and then so on and so forth. So that's the goal of any line, is to get them to read the next line. So it has to stay engaged, it has to stay on theme. The second part is the headline is the most important at the top because it tells people that they're on the right page. It researches the benefit of what they're going to get if they continue reading. So it's got to be something exciting, something potentially newsworthy, et cetera, et cetera. And then, the first sentence after the headline needs to talk about their pain points. Needs to talk about, I like throwing stats in there that talk about the industry as a whole. And, when you say stuff like that, I like wording things that show a little bit of credibility, but you don't straight up call it out. For example, right now I'm writing a landing page, and I'm considering whether to show it because this will be in a recording, but I might show it in a second. Anyway, and the page is basically saying, this company's been around for 13 years. They say, after being in business for 13 years, we've seen a lot of campaigns that win and some campaigns that fail. Here are the 3 things that we found that work and don't work. And they literally just say what it is. And people know right away that you're an expert because they've never heard of A, B, and C. Or A, B, and C just makes a lot of sense, right? But there's that credibility without you saying, we've been in business for over 13 years. We're the experts that specialize in doing this. Like that's a pitch. You don't want to say it that way. So, okay. So does that make sense so far?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay, cool. So the book your free strategy call. I know the Academy has just this one liner. I always like adding to it. Every button that has a call to action, I like having a sub headline. So below book your free strategy call, I would put another line below that. It's a little bit smaller. And the sub headline is basically, think of it like you're right at the very end of a sales pitch, and people can feel that they're getting close to needing to pull out their credit card, and suddenly there's resistance. You know, they feel that they're about to have to take this jump and they get nervous. So what I like doing the sublines and the buttons is just kind of a final objection, overcoming objection. So a couple examples is give them a time limit. So I like saying something, for example, like get a free consultation for 30 minutes or get a free 30-minute consultation. And the only reason I'm saying that is it's free and it's only 30 minutes.
Yeah, you're taking the risk out.
You're taking the time risk away. So that's a good one. Another good one is, and you've probably seen this too, is where they say, you know, your email's not shared, you won't get spammed, you know, we're here just to see if we're a good fit. Something to that effect as well always works. Yeah. So just lowering the barrier to entry. I mean, that's the one thing I think everybody should do is that button is the close. So you got to make sure that right around that button is the final, hey, it's okay to do it, you know, that kind of thing.
Okay.
All right, let's see here. Subscriptions. Here.
So these ones are probably going to get cut because they're just they're straight lead gen.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I love screenshots, by the way. This is really good. Okay, so just in general, a readability and usability for websites. When you have text that goes almost all the way across the screen, it becomes hard to read because you have to move your eyes back and forth. There's another study that's been done, hundreds on this one actually, that the shorter that you can make that, the more people will read. Just like if you had a whole block of text, a whole wall of text that's not evenly spaced, people will just, you know, they'll just stop reading it because they know it's a lot of work.
So how would you do this in ClickFunnels? Because you're really like limited on how you can edit your text.
I would make it 2 columns. I would move the text to the left-hand side and move the screenshot to the right.
Okay.
And you can obviously you can make the screenshot clickable so it's, you know, it's bigger if they wanted to read all the details. But yeah, I would definitely do that. I'm gonna pause the share for a second. Let me pull up one of my pages just to give an example. Okay, so let me pull this out. Okay, is my screen, wait.
I'm still screen sharing.
Yeah, that's strange. Can you see this new screen? It says Elevate.
No, I'm still looking at mine.
Okay, maybe I have to stop share. I have to click on the specific, what? Okay.
Yep.
You can see the new screen?
Yep.
Okay, so this is one I did super quick, so it's not the best, but it's just an idea of readability. So when you look over here, it's extremely, you know, it's big font. You can read it really easily. You know, very short bullets to the point. And it's halfway down the middle. So, you know, 2 columns, 1 column over here, 1 over here. People are more likely to read this since it's so much smaller. It doesn't look like a big wall of text. Then I did the same thing down here. I just broke it up. I made it super large font, a lot of spacing, obviously. And then I just put engaging images that are on the right. So even that just makes a big difference, you know, and then you just split it up that way.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that really does. It doesn't look dissimilar to one of the funnel pages that I built for one of our coaches.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do a better job. It's the truth though, isn't it? You always do a better job for clients than you do for yourself.
Yes. Right. Oh my gosh. I struggle so much with my own.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay. Are we back?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. So that works. Yeah. Case studies. I don't have anything to talk about that. That's cool. That's cool. Are you able to get a photo of these? Like of the actual ad?
Yeah, some of them I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably have them in creative.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the other thing with copy, I feel like you probably already know a lot of the stuff that I'm telling you, but with copy,
It's
the
one of
more,
those it's one of those things that like you I feel like I should, but it's you're calling stuff out and I'm like, ah.
I'm the same way. Again, yeah, it's hard to, what's the plumber's toilet is always running kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah. Um, yeah, anything tangible, like your screenshots are great. Um, but if you're going to go as far as doing a screenshot, it'd be cool to see a little bit of the creative so they can see that you
Yeah.
actually have good designs. And, you know,
Okay.
it's weird. I don't know if you've had this, but I've had clients that say, hey, can we see an example of ads that you've done? And I'm thinking, why does that even, like, they just want something tangible to see. Like, just want to know what it looks like in the context of Facebook or something.
Yeah, but I guess kind of one thing I'm wary of is I don't want them contacting clients without me.
Oh, yeah, no, mark it out. Yeah, mark out their name.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't have anything that's showing. Did you see my my YouTube video a couple weeks ago?
Yes, I think I did. I think I watched that.
Okay.
That was what you posted up prompted this, wasn't it? It was,
What's that?
it was around the same time that you talked about doing this, wasn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was YouTube training, but yeah, my landing page, which I'm redoing everything, but in the video, yeah, I block everything out. Like nobody can contact them. Like, yeah, there's no way for them to see a name.
And what
So
did you use to do that? Because I've tried to do that, I think, on iMovie, but it's super fiddly.
um, I'm not a good editor. I have something Windows based, so it probably wouldn't be
Okay.
helpful. But I use Camtasia.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. No,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
on
know.
a Mac, so no
Yeah,
hope.
okay. Yeah. But it looks really bad. Um, like it's like this really ugly green. Let me see here. Yeah, like just, then I'll blot it out. So,
So I did one the other day, and it's kind of the like the plastic filter. It blurs everything, but if you don't catch it precisely, it's just like you can't block out a whole big portion of the screen. You have to just highlight these little pieces, and then it follows that piece. But
oh
you know,
yeah.
well and good, like to do somebody's face because it'll follow the movement. But if you're just doing a scroll on a screen, it's not so easy.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think you even need to do video. I mean, just photos would work,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, so digital marketing, we have this.
So that's too much text, basically, isn't it?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I saw this earlier and I had a couple big things that would be great. Um, I'm going to skip this section for a moment because I know the next section is something I really want to talk about.
Okay.
Um, okay, so the about us. So I didn't feel like I connected with you. Like I didn't feel like you were an actual person behind the company.
Okay.
Um, so, for example, so Digital Marketing Engine is a full service agency that specializes in Facebook ads and full funnel builds. We work with businesses of all shapes and sizes who have the ambitions to grow and sell. The work we do is driven by data, good marketing. So, you know, that's like a good LinkedIn profile or bio. Um,
Yeah.
I want to give you an example. Let me see. I think I have to keep pausing it to show. I'm going to block this company name out for the video, but I'll give you an example here. And I'm not done writing this bio yet. But so-and-so company was founded in 2006 in Roseville, California by two ex-employees in their auto industry. Frustrated with how large the marketing agencies simply put each other customer through the grinder of the marketing machine, founders knew that high touch attention is what created the largest success for local dealerships. today, blah, 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 has worked with thousands of dealers all over the country, servicing, all these different companies. So-and-so marketing company ensures only experienced people work on our accounts. The average person on staff has been in the business for an average 11 years. And then something about related to, that industry.
Nice.
So you see what I mean? It's a little bit more personal. Like, and they're getting me a real photo here. It's not going to stay stock photo like this, but it's just, everybody wants to hear the story. And even if the story is just 2 sentences long, obviously it'll just do better.
Yeah. Okay.
So does that make sense?
Someone else reads something and you're like, oh.
What's that?
When someone else reads something and you hear it suddenly through their voice and you think, okay, that's not cool.
Right. Yep, I get it. Let's see if I can go back here. Yeah, and honestly, as I read it, I was just trying to think as if I didn't know anything, which I really don't actually, but the 20 years experience running her own business, Amanda is an accomplished. So what would have been really cool is so is she a relative? Is she a friend? Is she?
Friend, yeah.
A friend, okay. I mean, I would get quirky with it. It'd just be a lot more fun. Just say, two random strangers who ran into each other 10 years ago at an airport decided they wanted to help build, coaching business, something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just more personal. And so I just want to put this just for the recording. I think it's so weird. I'm curious when it's going to happen, when all these big corporations, they finally realize when they're advertising on social media that it's not about this corporate look, the like super whited out like photo where, the white guy is shaking the Asian guy's hand and they're like smiling, the cheesy smile. Like, when are they going to realize that it's more about personal connection, but human connection? Like, it's always been that way. And still they're doing all these ads where it's just like super cheesy. So anyway, that's my rant.
That is fair enough. It's fair enough.
And and the only thing I would do at the bottom is I would shrink that footer massively.
Okay.
And not have your email address either.
Okay. I didn't actually realize that was visible. Okay.
There you go. All my stuff is super short. It's just usually my name, stupid stuff like that, and the privacy policy. So, okay, so. So this is just my personal preference. You do whatever you think is necessary, but I'm a big fan of highlighting the one line that sounds really, really good so people can just read it. So where you highlighted your name, and the domain?
So actually I didn't. That was this was posted on LinkedIn and she highlighted it and I couldn't take it off when I screenshotted.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you can kill
I guess I need to follow that through now.
What's that?
No, I need to follow that through on the others.
Yeah. Well, it just be better. Like I'll give you another example. Actually, I didn't even do it on mine. So I'm a big fan of doing 3 columns for testimonials. Don't ask me why. I've just always done it. It doesn't take up a lot of vertical space when you're on desktop. But there's still at least 3 testimonials so people can see what's going on. So I always do little profile photos if you can of each person. Obviously, again, more faces, more credibility. Mm-hmm. Let's see, what else did you do here? Everything else is good. Yeah, I just like lining it up at the top so you don't have to keep scrolling through testimonials that you don't really care about. Okay, so that's that. I have one more. I'm gonna skip this section because I I'd have to think about it more. But
Yeah.
a big thing that's missing right now, just overall, I don't see any bullets anywhere. I would highly recommend doing bullets. Like
Okay.
that is so. Yeah, I'm sure you've always heard top of the fold is most important.
Hmm.
You need to have something that's attention grabbing so people can read it. Um, that's 100% true. And everything, almost every landing page I do has bullets at the very top. And the idea is you'll have people with different varying interests going to your landing page. So having the opt-in at the top of the page, or your call to action button, is good because you're going to have people that come through. They're just like, I don't want to waste a lot of time. This sounds good. Let's just check it out real quick. And they'll click on that button right away, right? But then there's people that are like, I'm still wary about this whole thing. I don't know what's going on. I need more information before I can take action. So that's what everything below the fold is for those people, the much larger segment of people who just, they're not ready to click that button yet.
Hmm.
So the point of all that is the top of the fold. You may not be able to fit it in here, but I like doing bullets near the top because it gives people a summary of exactly what to expect when they click that button. So, you're going to have people that, will skim through the whole landing page, and that's great. But then you're going to have people that are like, okay, give me the meat of everything in top 4 or 5, not 4 or 5, top 3 or 4 things that I'm going to get when I click this button, right? So those are the skimmers, and those are also people that read the whole page and they go back to the top. And they're like, okay, so what was it again that I'm getting out of this?
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
just a summary, really. And this might be useful. Are you familiar with the features versus benefits thing? The whole.
Yes.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, probably.
Awesome. I don't know if you know this, but in bullets, it's good to have a mix, like offset it between the two, like the features and benefits.
Okay.
So just an idea.
So I think I've probably done that, but not particularly clearly in each of the case study examples.
Oh yeah,
So
no,
what?
yeah, you have bullets for the case studies, which is
Yeah.
perfect. But you need a bullets
Yeah, above
for
fold. Yeah.
why they're clicking on the. Well, yeah, you may not be able to fit it in the top fold, but the point is to have a summary of why they're going to take action here. See, if they read this whole page, they now understand that there's a problem, that they have a problem, they feel it, that you solve that problem for other clients, right? So you have credibility now. Now the next step is what's your offer? So that's why I'm just such a big fan of bullets for what the offer is as well. Like I
Yeah.
love your bullets for the case studies, but just a summary of what they're taking action on is important.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Or am I
Yeah, it
sounding
makes
crazy?
perfect sense. No, not at all. Yeah, super thorough. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Well, that's there's probably lots more I can go through, but that's all I got for now. Do you have any other ideas or questions or anything?
No, I just wondered if cheekily you had a look at the website page because I think I'm probably falling foul of a few of the same things on there.
Oh,
We kind of don't really appear on it.
let me see. And you sent that to me, didn't you?
Yeah, it's just above the link for the landing page.
Okay, go back to it.
Do you want me to put it in the chat?
Actually, yeah, if you could do that, it might be easier. Awesome. Yeah, the weirdest thing, I built my website 7 years ago. Haven't touched it probably twice since then because I don't run any ads through it. I don't even look at websites anymore.
So I think this is one of the things about the industry we're in, perhaps, is that I do find that there's a spike in website traffic, even when we're sending people directly to the landing pages. So I think they're going to go and check us out. I think one of the things is perhaps the UK market isn't as mature as the US market. So we find that, yeah, a lot of the sort of more reliable clients come through from the US.
Interesting. Yeah, well, and I guess to be fair, whenever I get somebody to opt in, they end up in an email sequence, and I give them more value, more information. And I do have my website link in there too. So I guess it makes sense. Oh yeah, I did look at this. I was actually very impressed with the copy on this page, on this website.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, this was
This is
actually,
my own rather than the rework of the SEO
okay.
funnel.
Okay, yeah, no, I like your stuff. Yeah, I probably don't have much to talk about here. Yeah, I like it. Um, I mean, there's always stuff, but no, I like this. I don't have anything of value to share.
Okay, perfect. No, you've shared a huge amount, so thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome.
Is there anything else I can do for you in return?
Um, so this is just a test for me.
Hmm.
My goal is to take this recording and post it on different social media platforms.
Hmm.
So if you're up for it, do you mind if I tag you when I get it posted?
No, go for it. Really happy
Okay.
for you to do that.
Okay. Also, I know I'm not good at the organic stuff. Are you good at posting? Like, do you know what? I don't even know what I'm supposed to what I'm asking, but um, I'm the Facebook ads guy. Like, I'm direct response kind of guy, and I'm
Hmm.
trying to build a brand. Uh, and I value direct response even more, but I know the brand is useful because people do check you out. They're checking me out outside the ads.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm asking, but do you know anything about timing or length of post for organic stuff? Like, do you
So,
have a brand that you do, or what do you do?
so we use quite a mix on the organic stuff because we know that, say, like every third or fourth post, we're going to run some traffic to.
Hmm.
Just keep that alive because organic doesn't really do very much by itself. So what we'll tend to do is write a week's worth of organic posts. As we put them out, we see which one starts to gain a little bit of traction, and then we'll put some money behind it, and maybe run that for a couple of days, build up the social proof on it, and then drop that out of the ad set and mix another one in. So there's a kind of continuous top of funnel ad set running where we're just switching, it's PPE, and
Hmm.
we're just switching in different posts as we go along every day, and that generates a bit more noise, and it just gets you out there a little bit more. And as much as organic engagement isn't worth what it used to be worth, it's still important for the social proof, whether or not Facebook thinks so and are going to do away with it. So yeah, that's kind of the easy way to do it. At the end of the day, you're putting your message out there and you're talking as you. Um, it's a lot easier just to jump on and do a live and then say like, oh, I did a live, go and watch it, here it is. Or check out my stories today, or something light and simple. When we're doing the longer posts, we'll tend to try and deliver a lot more value in it, so it's almost a teaching post. But then again, that's reflective of the kind of industry that I'm going for. Is they want to see how I work first, they want to see what it's like to work with me before they do so.
Hmm.
Because they're used to having their audience sit back and take stock for sometimes 2 or 3 years before they engage with the high ticket ones. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Well, I mean, there's a big pain point there, right? So if we
Uh,
can speed that journey along, then we're winning.
yeah, I bet.
But the lower ticket ones, it might be a week for a challenge or something like that. So we're always trying to look at what it is that people are talking about and then using their language back at them.
Hmm.
Simple things like, I know, hunting around in a group for what books are people promoting, what are they saying they've read and they've been really inspired by, and then go and read the reviews on Amazon and use those as the plus and paint. So the feature and benefits of those in our own copy and how we put that back to what we're doing. And that basically builds out our organic content.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting.
So if you take like a wall planner of 12 years and you say, okay, I have an event here and an event here and a launch here and a launch here, you can start looping in your content so that you have a three flow. And then you know what you're going to be talking about, and you know what you're going to be writing about. And then the stuff that you see in your everyday life and you hear from your clients, you can relate back to doing just that. And it just keeps that continuity, and it keeps the message rather than it being quite haphazard. And one day you're posting about this and then the next day you're posting about something completely different. If you're trying to take people on more of a journey, then you end up keeping their attention for longer.
Okay. Interesting. Um, Hmm. Okay. I'm trying to think of that in the context of this recording. Like if I split something out, um, and would you recommend that I take like 30-second little clips and just dropping it in and just because I've never really had to worry about top of funnel stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'm lead generation, so I'm good at getting leads that are ready to go, and usually there's like middle funnel and a bottom funnel.
Yeah.
Um, but
So
is that
there
what?
were a couple of things that really stood out for me that I was just like, that's something that you know. So like the studies of behavior on Facebook, for example, that you talked about, and you're saying like the image is the thumb stopper, but then the headline and the single goal of the headline is to get you to read the sub headline and things like that, where that's the real kind of aha takeaway that people feel that they've got value from having watched your video.
Hmm,
There's something there that they can or they think they can implement in their everyday life. So you've taught them something important to them. You've taught them something of value that's going to be a benefit to them, and therefore they're pleased with you and they come back and watch some more.
okay, awesome.
So essentially, in doing this, you're building out a coaching funnel as we would. So one of the things that I do for coaches, especially those who don't have massive budgets, is we'll look at what they teach and we'll basically carve up a lot of what they teach in their courses and pull that out, and then maybe have 5 to 10 videos, and we'll say if people watch more than 50% of video one, they get to see video two. If they watch less than 50% of video one, we're probably going to serve them that video again and see if they are interested or not. And if they don't watch more than 50% of it again, then they can drop off and go.
Hmm,
And if you watch more than 50% of video two, it's video three, and so on and so on. But in the middle there, as you're starting to kind of take the 10% of the most engaged people, that's when you go with the direct response ads. So you're kind of continually keeping them in this swirl until they're ready to engage with you properly.
okay, so that's interesting. So do you have? So when you do so when you do the 50% video watch, for example, do
Mm-hmm.
you is your main thought process that that they understand the problem that they're having, or they have that problem, and by watching 50% they've identified that they have the problem? Or is it that and you're hoping that they would recognize that person's face the second video around?
Yes, bit of both. So if the video is 3-4 minutes long and you're getting them to spend 2 or 3 minutes with you, that's really quite valuable in terms of audience retention and audience build. If they're
Mm,
dropping off after 3 seconds or 10 seconds on a 15-second video, you don't really know anything. It's not giving you enough data and information to make, I feel, informed decisions. So if I record a video that's 20 minutes long and I'm going to retarget everybody who watched more than 50% of it, I know that those people have spent a considerable amount of time with me, and either I've completely grated and that's why they dropped off, or they got distracted by something else.
mm,
And they might welcome seeing it again, they might not, who knows. But also you're past the point that people can skip ahead,
mm,
so you know that they have actually truly watched it.
right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I've never looked at long funnels like that. Did I
You
show?
have you have this sort of I always feel like it's less of a funnel and it's more of a kind of whirlpool, and you're just drawing people into this whirlpool, and then as they get really engaged they just kind of pop into the direct response, and if they don't bite they just go back into the whirlpool, and the
Hmm.
only way to get out of your whirlpool is to completely ignore you for 30 days. So
That's awesome. I like that. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So were you running top of funnel for yourself before?
yes, I was, but because
Okay.
I was doing the unleashed funnel, it was all very
Gotcha.
um yeah, it was much more sort of agency standard. But having worked on a lot more coaching accounts since, I realized that actually, in order to get those clients, I need to be running ads like I would for them.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, that actually helps. So thank you. Thank you for
No,
that.
no problem. Happy to take a look if you want me to. By no
Yeah.
means an expert, but yeah, it's what I've.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole funnel, my leads are really cheap and they're really qualified. So but I think I can do more. Like if I just, so I just have, the initial, obviously it's a conversion campaign is my first initial ad. Um,
Mhm.
I just have retargeting. it works really well. It's super cheap. I'm paying from $9 to like $15 per lead. So
It's amazing.
I'm paying nothing for it, but I feel like if it's doing that well, it might be able to do better, like with some more top of funnel. I don't know. I know you shouldn't try to fix something that's not broken, but I'm always
Scale it till you
curious.
break it.
What's that?
Scale it till you break it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. Well, all right. Well, yeah, I'll work on it, and yeah, I might hit you up if I have an
No
idea.
problem. Yeah, very happy to.
Okay, awesome.
All
Well,
right,
thanks.
well, thank you.
Hope it was
I really
helpful.
appreciate it. Very much so. Thank you.